My name is Jay Conrad. I work for LATICRETE International, Senior Product Manager in charge of membrane, shower system, and floor heat. This is my colleague, Kurt Weber. He's a sales rep in the Washington, D.C., Virginia area. If you happen to be from that location, you have any questions, need someone to help you out with any type of installation, he's your guy to go to. Very knowledgeable. So today we're going to talk about floor heat. Okay. Now floor heat, there's a couple different types of floor heat. There's hydronic floor heat. We're not talking about hydronic floor heat. We are going to talk about electric radiant floor heat. Okay. Now electric radiant floor heat, there's different types of electric radiant floor heat also. There's loose wire made with strips that you put on the floor. You run the wire between the strips. There's mats that you put down. You put down the mat with a pin set, or you can self-leveling over the top of the mat. The other system that we're going to talk about today is a loose wire with an uncoupling membrane. Okay, that system is called Strata Heat. Okay, so Strata Heat is made up of 4 different products. We have Strata Heat Map, we have the Strata Heat Wire, Strata Heat Thermostat, and we have a new innovative patented product, Strata Heat Thermostat. So we're going to go through and talk about all 4 of these products. First, before we start talking about the products, why would you put in electric radiant floor heat? Well, the reason why you want to do it is you want to add comfort and a nice atmosphere to your installation, so you're walking on tile, your toes don't get cold, it feels nice and warm in the wintertime, and it's a more comforting atmosphere and adding some warmth to your home. Okay, where would you put electric radiant floor heat? You put it in bathrooms, foyers, you can put it in your shower, we'll talk about that. You can put it in kitchens, playrooms, you can put it in your basement. If you're redoing your basement and say you have baseboard heat upstairs in the house or a forced air and you want to rerun pipes and stuff like that, you can use the Strata Heat system, put that in your basement, and you can add some heat to your basement that way. Okay, so the first part of the system is the Strata Heat Map. The Strata Heat Map is an uncoupling membrane, so it separates out the stresses from the substrate through the tile so your tile doesn't crack. It's very similar to our StrataMat product in that it has hydration vents, so it lets your thin set dry very rapidly. You can use the appropriate thin set for the installation. And it also has optical coverage verification. So as you'll see when we get going here and Kurt is laying the mat down on the floor, if there happens to be an area that's not covered, you'll be able to see that through the actual mat itself. The Strata Heat mat comes in a roll similar to this one that we have here. That's a 150 square foot roll. It's 39 inches tall by about 46 feet long. It also comes in sheets. There's 10 sheets to the box. Each sheet is 8.2 square feet, and those sheets are 39 inches by 30 inches. Okay? So when would you use a roll? When would you use the sheets? The sheets come in a box. There's 82 square feet in a box. Standard bathroom is about 80 square feet. So if you're doing a standard bathroom, you would probably buy it in the box or maybe a little bit smaller job. If you're doing your basement or your kitchen where you need longer runs, you would typically buy the Strata Heat mat in the roll for those types of applications. When you install the mat, Kurt's now using 254 Platinum, which is one of our premium thin set materials. He mixes it a little bit on the loose side because you want to wet out the polypropylene scrim that's on the back of the mat. Using a 1/4 by 1/4 trowel, so you make sure you have enough thin set there to be absorbed into the mat to give it a good bond. He's spreading the thin set on top of hydrogen board. The reason why we're using the hydrogen board here is because we've done multiple installations or demonstrations on the stage. We don't want to ruin our demo unit. This is over plywood, but if you had an installation where you're doing concrete on grade on your floor, on your basement floor, or just in a playroom or sunroom in your home, you would want to put down Strata Heat or Hydroband sheet membrane, or Hydroband board, I get it right, Hydroband board, 1/4" board. It reduces the heat up time of the Strata Heat wire by 75%. So in doing that, you're saving electricity, and it'll take you less than 2 years to do a payback on the board itself. Okay, so when you put the mat down on top of the thin set, you want to use a roller to make sure that you're wetting out the fleece on the back of the mat. And you can actually see where the product is getting wetted out, and you'll be able to focus in here on the area where there isn't any thin set to show the optical coverage verification where there is thin set and there isn't thin set, so you don't have to lift up the mat all the time to make sure you have coverage. Okay, so the next step in the process, Kurt's just going to fill in that one area there, is to install the wire. Now, the Strata Heat wire is a very unique wire in that it has two very conductive copper cores that are encapsulated with Teflon right around them on both the wires, and then there's a metal braid around those as the ground material, okay? And on the outside of that there's a PVC coating. So you can tell by the description that it's a very strong, very robust wire. You don't have to worry about making any jogs every so many feet when you're doing the installation to keep it conductive. Your runs can be as long as you want. The wire is available in 30 different SKUs. We have 15 SKUs of 124 volt, 120 volt, and 15 SKUs of 240 volt. Okay, they run from about 5 feet all the way up to 800 feet. Okay, and they'll cover anywhere from 3 square feet up to 333 square feet, depending on the spacing that you're using on the floor. In this case, what we say is doing a certain peg spacing. Kurt's going to lay this out in 3 peg spacing. Okay, so the reason why we have this back wall here is we have basically what's recommended by the NEC in how you install electric radiant floor heat. You need to have a junction box where you're going to make your connections. You're going to put your thermostat. You're going to connect the wires from the incoming power. From your electrical box, you want to make sure that you have a standalone wire with a separate breaker in the junction box. Bring that wire in, then you're going to have a wire for the temperature sensor and a wire coming in for the actual heating cable itself. Okay, so Kurt's spreading this out. When you go to install the sensor cable for the thermostat, we have one sensor cable that comes in with the box of wire, and then when you open up the box for the thermostat, there's another wire that comes along with it also. The reason why you would like to install 2 wires is so if there ever happens to be a problem with one of the sensors, you just disconnect one and hook up the other one, and you're ready to go. And you can see here, this is the end piece of the sensor cable. So this will fit right into the constellations on the mat, so you don't have to do any cutting out to put that in place, okay? First, just making sure that everything's in place with his trowel. He's got it spaced out in a 3 peg spacing. When you get to the center of the roll, you'll notice that there's a white marking, okay? That white marking is the exact center point of the wire. So if you're laying out a big room, when you get halfway through the room, if you're at that white point, you know you're doing pretty good. If you're got a lot more wire left, you know you have to do something else. And if there's not so much wire left, you have to do something in that case too. So the nice thing about this is that you have the ability to change the spacing on it. You can do 2-3 spacing, you can do 3-3 spacing, you can do 3-4 spacing, and if you really need to spread it out, you can do 4 peg spacing. So if you have too much wire, you just narrow down the spacing a little bit to use up the extra wire. If you have too little wire, you just space it out a little bit more as you go along. Okay, to combine with our wire, we have 2 thermostats. One is a regular programmable thermostat, and one is a Wi-Fi compatible thermostat. They both have touchscreen technology, so you can go right to the screen and program things on the screen. If you have the Wi-Fi technology thermostat, you hook that up to your smartphone, compatible with any smartphone technology. You set that up and it has GPS location that's built into your phone, okay? GPS location built into your phone in combination with the thermostat senses when you're home, and if you get in your car and you drive away from your home, it can tell how fast you're going away, and according to that, it will decrease the power that's going to your heating cable, so it'll power down and the temperature will be reduced. Okay, so you're at work during the day, the system is down to its minimum, which is usually about 60 degrees Fahrenheit. You're getting ready to come home. Again, it'll sense where you are from your phone, and it'll automatically turn the heating system back on, and when you get home, it'll be up to full power and the floor will be heated. Okay, you can individually program it. You don't have to use that, so you can program it on a time basis when you're in and out. Has multiple settings, so you can do multiple times in and out of your home. And it also has a learning pattern. So it actually learn your patterns, and it'll save you money because of the efficiency of learning those patterns as you go along with the usage of the product. Okay? The last thing that I want to talk about is the Strata Heat Thermal Pack. Now, the Strata Heat Thermal Pack is a patent-pending product. It is a conductive material, okay, that is in a soluble bag. This product can get combined with 253, 254 if you're familiar with our products, or 4XLT. Those are the ones that we recommend. You don't want to use a lightweight type product when you're doing radiant floor heat installations, because usually the lightweight products have materials in there to make them lightweight. They're also insulators. So if you use an insulator, you're not going to get as good conductivity through the installation to heat up your floor. So this product, what it does is when you combine it with your thin set, it increases the thermal diffusion of the heat going from the wire through the thin set to the tile. It increases the thermal diffusion by 20%, okay? That'll give you about a 15% savings, and it'll pay for itself in months, okay? No one else has this product. This is a LATICRETE only product, made in the United States, American product. And as you can see, it'll take
21 seconds.
21 seconds, Kurt says. So you put it into the water, you let it dissolve. You read the instructions, you add a little bit more water than you would
18,
normally
19,
add
21.
when you're doing your mixing of thin set. Let it dissolve, the product will mix in with the water, then you can pour your thin set on top, give it a good mix, then you're ready to spread it out over the wire and set your tile. So very simple, very easy, nice product to be able to use, makes your installation more efficient, more energy efficient with the wire and the mat. It gives you a 3-point contact between the wire and the thin set, so the thin set heats up faster. You get faster heat up time by using the thermal pack. Your thermal diffusion in the thin set is increased, and you have the efficiency of the thermostat itself that also helps you save money on your electrical bill. So that's about it today for our demonstration. If anyone has any questions, please raise your hand. I'll answer whatever I can.
Just put that whole bag in there, or is there a bag? Is the bag dissolved?
Okay.
What's inside a bag?
There, in this bag, you buy one of these bags. There's 2 of the soluble bags inside here.
So it's disintegrated already?
It's all disintegrated in there. So what you do is one of the bags, one of those black bags that we put in there, one of these bags will mix with 25 pounds of thin set. So most thin sets are 50 pounds a bag, so you use 2 of these for 1 bag of thin set. And again, it's using usually 253, 254, or 4XLT are the recommended thin sets. Any other questions I can help you with?
Don't carry it in your mouth.
Or keep it away from moisture?
Well, a bag inside a bag, so until you open it up, you're hopefully going to end up using it when you open it up.
I'm not, with that the Strata Heat, would you use non-modified thin set?
That is modified.
That's modified. You could use non-modified if you want to.
There's only one company that does it.
You can use the appropriate thin set for the job.
Okay. But what did you just, I apologize, you mentioned it, but you said it real quick. Was it the platinum or the gold?
That's 254 platinum that you use.
Okay. All right.
And you want to mix it a little bit on the wet side, just so it wets the back of the mat itself, and you can see it come through for the optical coverage verification. The reason why you can use unmodified or modified thin set is because it has hydration vents, so it helps drying of the mortar, eliminates the moisture through the installation that way. One thing that I mentioned in the beginning and I didn't hit again on in the actual presentation was using wire in a shower. You can use this wire in a shower, outside the shower, in the bathroom. Our recommendation is to use 2 wires, okay, when you do that. Use a separate wire for the actual room itself, and then another wire for the shower. Now, I told you our wires have spacing, our area for up to from 3 square feet all the way up to 330 square feet, right? So you have plenty of wires to choose from for whatever size your shower is. Okay, we recommend that you use 2 separate wires because we don't want you going up and over the curb. When you go up and over the curbs are usually a square, so you got a nice 90-degree bend there. Usually 90-degree bends with thermal wire start causing problems and cause a heat spot on that bend, and that's what we don't want to have happen. So the cold lead, and Kurt, can you show up what the cold lead is on there? The cold lead that connects to the actual heating wire is 12 feet long. So it leaves you plenty of wires to be able to bring 2 wires into a thermostat. If it's not long enough, I want to thank those people for the drilling. If it's not long enough, then you can add wire to it also. And you can call technical service department and we can tell you what type of wire to add to it. The thing you want to be careful of is the amperage of the wire. Each amperage depending on its length, each wire depending on its length will have a separate amperage. Thermostat can handle up to 15 amps. So you look at the label on the end of the wire. Over there it'll tell you how many amps that wire is. Look at the wire that you're connecting with it. As long as those 2 wires are under 15 amps, you're okay to do the installation. If it's over 15 amps, you have to talk to your electrician and have him install a relay, bring the wires into the relay, and then signal wires from the relay up to the thermostat. Okay, we always recommend that you use an electrician to do all your electrical connections, make sure everything's safe, keep it up to code when you're going through. Any other questions? Yes, sir. In your basement? Okay, so the question is, how would you do an installation on a concrete floor in a basement? What would the spacing be? Okay, if you were not going to insulate, you would use a closer spacing, probably a 2-3 spacing on the floor. But what we would recommend that you would put 1/4-inch hydroband board down underneath the mat, and that insulation of just that 1/4 inch is enough to make the concrete like it's not even there. What about the what? 1-2, we do not recommend 1-2 spacing. You could go down to 2 spacing, but not 1-2 spacing. We do not recommend. Not 1 spacing. No, you always want to have enough room to put your sensor wire in between the 2 wires when you're doing the installation. So it should be in between the wires that are closest together. So if you're doing 2-3 spacing, put the sensor between the wires that are 2 pegs apart, right up the middle between them. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Oh, about how it rolls and lays flat.
Okay, so as I was telling you before, the 150-foot roll is 39 inches tall, it's 46 feet wide. One of the things we hear from most of the people that are using this product is that it's unlike a lot of the other products. When you go to roll it out on the floor, I've had guys tell me that they roll out on the floor and they turn around and it's followed them all the way up the length of the run. This roll will lay flat and it'll stay exactly where you roll it out. It does not have a lot of memory.
That piece came off of that roll. Yes. Does it have the qualities of uncoupling like the other two?
Does it have uncoupling qualities?
It tests out very well. Yes.
Yeah, it's basically an uncoupling membrane that you
Meets
can
the highest
install
standard
wire.
of uncoupling.
Yes. It separates all the stresses from the substrate through the tile, so you're not going to have any cracking in the tile installation.
So without comparing to others, this is of the highest quality uncoupling.
Any other questions before we leave? Yes, sir. Sorry, I can't hear you. That wire is a 4.5 millimeter wire.
And completely round.
It's completely round. That's what we recommend to use with our membrane. If you use a larger wire, I don't know why you would, but you're probably going to have trouble putting it in through all the castellations and the pegs and get it to stay the right way. So it's designed so it's not going to stick up over the pegs. So when you go to thin set it, you're skimming over the top. You would take your thin set and fill in all the divots around the pegs, and then come back with, if you're doing 12 by 12 tile, you'd probably come back with a 1/4 by 3/8 inch trowel, comb out the notches, and then set your tile right on top of it.
Samples.
You can come up afterwards if you want. I'll be able to hear what you're saying. Okay, thank you very much. If you have any other questions, we'll be back at our booth. It's basically right behind you. You can answer any question that you have. Thank you very much.